there's a lot to talk about in the world of Wraith right now. Of course, Compendium of Wraith is about to transform everything we know about the game with both Classic Constructed and, of course, Silver Age. We have the Silver Age decks that are going to be on offer and on feature, of which I'm going to be releasing a guide for this one here this week. But first, before we do all of that, I think it's very important to talk about Battlegrounds. Battlegrounds, finally, it was whispered about over at the World Championship, and now here the announcement is in earnest. Battlegrounds, equip your hero, prepare to battle. So as you know, the Battle Hardened was rotated out of existence, and instead of the Battle Hardened at major events with callings, you now have the, I think it's called a Showdown, and almost in a place of the Battle Hardens, we now have Battlegrounds. But this is purely a step up, in my opinion. The more I think about it, the more I realize that this is just exactly what it should be, and it's just optimized to be the best of the best for the community at large. So a Battleground is a new Tier 2 organized play series coming to the local game store here in 2026, of which we already know of one being hosted by none other than MinMax Games. With no qualification required, Battlegrounds is where local communities collide to see who will rise above the rest and claim the title of the Battlegrounds champion. So when you look at what a Battle Hardened was, it was essentially a smaller regional tournament that took place over the course of one day and oftentimes was paired alongside of a ProQuest Plus, or previously called a ProQuest, back on Sunday. So you'd have Saturday the Battle Hardened, and then Sunday was the ProQuest or the ProQuest Plus. They've done away with that system wherein it existed on its own, not connected to a calling. They've created an event connected to a calling, essentially what the Battle Hardened was when it was not its own standalone thing. And now that the standalone thing is no longer, they have brought Battlegrounds in to supplant it, but it is no longer being run in this big way that Battle Hardens were, because oftentimes you look at Battle Hardens in the past and they were these larger scale affairs. It would still draw in people from a large swath of the region. It was considered more of a regional event, and yet it would draw lots of players because it was still like a 2-day event, hence why we talked about it just a moment ago. And it would encourage whoever ran that event to, get a larger space, to rent out, a longer lease, if you will, of space, 2 days instead of 1 day. It meant that whoever was running it, whether it be an LGS or a larger tournament organizer, was going to have to put more money into it in order for that to be profitable. Otherwise, they were just going to lose money running that event. Here now, run exclusively by local game stores, at least from what I can tell, by top tier local game stores here. It's going to be located at the store level. What does this mean? It means that a 1-day tournament that's going to draw a smaller amount of people, but a more regional presence than something like an Armory, so somewhere in between perhaps the Battle Hardened and, just like your normal old Armory or ProQuest or whatever it is. This is that kind of sweet spot, and it's being hosted at the store level, meaning that stores aren't going to have to shell out money to get some big venue and sign some multi-day contract, and then they have to be out by a certain time, and you've got to scrap everything and make sure that you hit that time and get everything out. Being alongside of MinMax Games for the years that I did in casting all of those Battle Hardens and ProQuest Plus, I watched them rush things down, trying to make sure that everyone got the games finished, but also ended up, having a good time and being able to finish the event. It was a rush at times, and now you don't have to do that because it's being hosted by the local game store at the local game store, bringing people into your store, possibly making you more money, and also doing it at a smaller cost basis. So the more I look at this style of event, the better it sounds for all these local game stores that are really committed to the game of Flesh and Blood. So here's the quick points. It is a Tier 2 event. It is a single-day event. It doesn't look like there's anything paired alongside of it on Sunday. You don't have to qualify. You just show up. It's hosted by local game stores, probably at local game stores or at a location that they can choose, so they're not kind of pigeonholed into a certain spot. And the pricing is pretty solid. So Battlegrounds features elite pricing, even if you're just participating. You get a PTI if you win. That's already a good way to start things off. You get a random drop gold foil prize card, common, rare, and majestic as well. You get a champion resource coin, which is kind of cool. That's all for first place. The top 2 players get a playmat, and then cold foil promos for the top 4 players, rainbow foil for the top 8, and tournament participants get a tournament pack. That's the cool part, because I don't know if you've been looking at these tournament packs, but oh my gosh, I am gobsmacked for them. Is that the term that I'm going to use? It is. I'm not going to change that at all. Those things are freaking incredible. If you say, like, pay $40 to enter this event, which is what I paid, by the way, to play in the upcoming, ProQuest that's here locally. That's the season we're about to start, ProQuest. I paid $40 to enter that. You can pay the same exact thing, and if tournament packs are, available while supplies last, if tournament packs are for participation, like straight up, what does that mean for you? It means that, like, you're getting a card that is most likely sought after in a finishing and foiling and, like, Marvel glory that is just incredible. I mean, come on. Have you seen those things? Nuts. So you're making your money back if you just flip that thing, and you can keep it sealed and hold on to it for as long as, you see fit, and then just flip it for whatever the sealed price goes for. On top of that, of course, you have the chance to go into, like, a new local game store or your favorite local game store where you play and interface with a new player group or your player group. I think it's really, really cool idea, and this is such a step up from the idea of what Battle Hardens were, and I went to a lot of Battle Hardens. This feels like a great step up. It represents the only opportunity outside of the World Tour to earn tournament packs and professional PTIs, essentially, and PTIs. So they're going to announce which local game stores. I would imagine they announce it, or maybe the local game store just announces it on their own. And then these will start taking place March 28th, 29th. And I would imagine they would just continue on. Yeah, it looks like Battlegrounds continuing throughout the year as seasonal in-store tournament experiences. And you can find the events using the event locator. Now, I don't know, but I am curious. So I'm going to click it and we'll do this live. If I just type in, I don't even have to type it in. If I just kind of change the, oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay, hold on. This actually does work already. I'm going to change the bounding box so that you can see. We'll do it all live. So here are some of the Battlegrounds that are already marked down, which is kind of interesting. We've got a Card Merchant West City. We got Battlegrounds Montreal. We have Manila over here. That's kind of cool. You've got a Citadel Hobby down in Sao Paulo, as you can see down there. Oh, yep, look, Green Tree is indeed one of the Battlegrounds events. I almost called it Battle Hardened. Silver Age one run in Australia, so you can see that there. They've all populated already. Fab Foundry has one. That's very cool. And of course, MinMax has one as well. MinMax put a video out on their YouTube channel. I would imagine this would kind of increase throughout the year, and we got to get some in the EU as well, so more people can get the tournament packs themselves. But what do you think about the Battleground event? Again, I like the change here, and I've heard that this is not the only store-friendly change that Legend Story Studios is going to be making this year. If this is a step forward both to streamline the World Tour process, and I'll just punch this back to me. This seems like a step forward to streamline that process. You don't have the sort of extraneous Battlegrounds that didn't really, or sorry, Battle Hardens that didn't really have like their own niche, their own place. This allows for a similar type experience, but now it's more user-friendly, more store-friendly, more comfortable for everyone involved. It seems like this is a great next step to smooth out the overall World Tour experience, and also continue to pull in those local game stores that are looking to support the game constantly and heavily and reward them for doing so, and invite other stores to kind of come along for that ride. If this, along with some maybe other changes or other improvements that they're going to be doing at the store level, continues to kind of blossom and reveal itself in 2026, we could see a lot more stores onboarding this game going forward, which I think is a great thing, because Flesh and Blood is a beautiful game. And if you want to know my opinions on it, you should go watch my spoiler video that I posted last week. And, well, it'll tell you exactly how I feel on card games. If you like this sort of content, make the number go to the other number. And as always, everybody, thanks for watching.